All right. So now we're back to Kaggle's Pandas course, and we're on the exercise summary functions and maps. All right. So for the introduction, now we're ready to get deeper. Hold on. This notebook is an exercise in the Pandas course, and we can reference the tutorial at this link. So let's get the text out over here. All right. So now back to the introduction. So now we're ready to get a deeper understanding of our data. We're going to run the following cell to load our data and some utility functions, including code to check our answers, just like we've been doing. All right. So let's run this thing, and while it runs, let's go over it. So we've got import pandas as PD, so we're importing the library. PD is how we're going to access it. PD.set option display.max rows 5. It's going to be 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, and then some dots in the middle, like we've been saying. Reviews equals PD.read CSV. It's going to put this comma separated value file into the program, and we're going to have index call equals 0. So it's going to put all the number indexes. They're going to, you know what it does. Anyway, whatever. So, and then we've got this binder thing to check our answers. Setup complete. There's the setup complete. We also have reviews.head. So this is going to give us the first 5 records, which it does. There they are right there. Awesome. So now we're on to exercises. So here's one. What is the median of the points column in the reviews data frame? All right. So this is going to be one of the summary functions. So if we come over here, we can remember we had stuff like describe. That'll give us a summary of all this stuff. So remember summary functions, right? The mean, it'll give us the summary of the mean. What else we got? We got unique, which will give us the summary of all the unique values and value counts and whatnot. So it doesn't specifically say anything about median, but you know what? We can look at these names and we can probably take a guess, right? So let's come over here and say, let's come back over here and see exactly how to do it. Reviews.something.mean.points. Okay. Reviews.points.median. And it's going to be a method. So let's cap it off with some parentheses. Let's do a best practice, print median points. All right. And let's run it with a shift enter. Okay, 88.0, and it's correct. Awesome. So let's see what they did in their solution. Run it. Same thing. Awesome. So let's go to number 2. What countries are represented in the database? Our answer should not include any duplicates. All right. So we're going to, when it says something like that, it means we're going to have to get the unique, right? We just saw unique right here. So we could just take this, drop it off here, change this taster name to country. Yes, I think it is. Let's go back up here and check the data frame. Country. Yeah, country, all this stuff. And there we go. All right, so let's put country instead of taster name. So country dot unique. All right, so that should be good. Let's do the print countries. See if that works. Let's do a shift enter, and it gives us all these. It says it's correct. Come down here, check the solution, and it's exactly like what we did. All right, great. So number 3, how often does each country appear in the database? Pardon me, in the data set. All right. We're going to create a series of reviews per country, mapping countries to the count of reviews of wines from that country. So here's a hint, right? Or at least we think it's a hint. But remember, we also saw this one. Value counts, right? So let's give value counts a chance before we go wild trying to use map, right? Let's do this. It's not taster name. Are we doing country? Let's get country right here. And let's do the print statement. Oh, is that not it? End, enter. Yeah, here we go. All right, so print. Let's print this. Shift enter. All right, and it does a count like that. And it also says, is it correct? Did it not say correct? Is that not it? Huh? Where does it say correct? Let's get this print out of here. What's going on? I'm so confused. That one said correct. This one's not saying correct, but it might just be a bug. Let's look at the solution. It looks like the exact same thing. So yeah, this is correct. Let's bring back this. And at least drop that off. All right, so that's correct. Let's go to the next one. Number 4. So we're going to create a variable centered price containing a version of the price columns with the mean price subtracted. We're going to note that this centering transformation is a common pre-processing step before applying various machine learning algorithms. Yeah. So it just makes it easier to process, I guess. That's why we do it. But anyway, let's get back to it. Centered price. So let's go over here and look at the thing. So we've got the maps. And we remember the map method, right? But the thing is, on this one, they're talking about something that we can do with this. Did this even have a title? What this was called? Whatever this is, where we can just do review.points minus review points mean. All right. We can do the same over here. So we're doing price. So let's say reviews.price, and then we'll subtract reviews.price.mean like that. And that should take care of it. Let's do a print centered price. I kind of don't want to do that first. Let's just see if it's correct first. Then we'll put it. Because remember how the problem we had on 3? All right, so let's do a shift enter. Okay, this is correct. Let's toss the print statement in there so we can see what it does. All right, so it does that right there. Okay. Great. So whatever the average price is, well, I don't even know what the mean price would be. Let's say this, and let's say this. Right here. Where's the price? Let's just get rid of this one. Now let's do it. Okay, there it is. All right, so there's the mean price. There's the average. And so it was looking like this. All right, so these are below the average? Okay. These are below the average by 20 bucks. I guess that's what it's saying. All right, cool. Let's look at the solution. Yes, just like what we did. Awesome. All right, so here's 5. So we are economical wine buyers now. Which wine is the best bargain is a question that goes through our heads often. We're going to create a variable bargain wine with the title of the wine with the highest points to price ratio in the data set. All right. So for this one, it's we're going to have to do some stuff, right? So for this one, first off, we're going to have to make our own function for this. So let's do a def to start with, and we'll say find the best bargain wine. All right. And what it's going to take, we'll just put the data frame in there. So we'll say reviews like that, so that the argument and the parameter are the same. All right. So now what we got to do is we got to get this price points to price ratio. Right. So let's say let's do it. Remember, Python loves comments. So points to price ratio for each wine. All right. So what we want to do here is say points to price equals, and we will say reviews.points, right, divided by points to price reviews dot what is it, price. There we go. All right, so there's that. So now what we got to do is we're going to have to make a for loop, and we're going to have to loop through this, because let's see what this looks like first. Let's say print points to price. Let's run it. See what it does. Let's get this, copy it, drop it off here, and run it and see what it does. All right, cool. So we've got 0 nan, we've got 1 5.8, and if we come up here, we can see the can we move this over? No. Country. So this one had the price of nan, so this one's going to be nan. This one's got 87 over 15, and there we go. There's the points in the... No, that's not it. Where are we? And so, yeah, here's the points to price ratio for each one. All right, cool. So now we got to loop through this list or this series, whatever, and we have to find the highest number. All right, so we're going to have to do some old-timey stuff because they haven't told us anything about any new stuff. Or actually, maybe it's more the fact that we didn't start on the on their Python. It's probably something that was taught in their Python curriculum, but I didn't know it. But anyway, let's go through this, assuming we don't know, because I didn't. So let's go. What we're going to do here is we're going to say max ratio and index trackers. All right, because we're going to be doing a for loop, and we have to, whatever the highest one so far is, we have to put it in the max ratio, and we also have to catalog the index of it. So we'll say max ratio equals, and we'll say -1 to start, and then we'll also do max ratio index, and we'll say this is -1 as well. All right. So now we got that. Let's loop. Oops. Let's loop through points to price to find max ratio index. There we go. All right, so we'll say 4 to start with, and we're going to start with index. We're going to have index here, and we're also going to get the ratio because we see there's the index here and then the ratio right there. All right, so for that in points to price, what we're going to do, dot items, all right, because we got to access these somehow. And so what we're going to do here is say colon, and then we'll come down here and say something like this. You know what? First, let's see what the index and the ratio look like. I mean, we know what they'll look like, but let's see what it does in the what it looks like in the for loop. So let's say if index equals 0, print index ratio. All right, let's run it. So we got 0 nan right there. All right, so we had that points to price thing, and now we got that. Let's print that up. So print points to price. All right, you see 0 nan at the top right there and 0 nan right here. Excellent, awesome. So we know we're on the right track. Let's get rid of we'll get rid of this at the end. All right, so now let's do the if statement. That's going to say if the ratio is bigger than the max ratio, replace the max ratio with the ratio, right? Of course, we've done that before. If ratio is greater than max ratio, we will say max ratio now equals ratio. And we're going to catalog the index too. So we'll say max ratio index equals index. Boom. Just like that. All right. So now we can, that's what the for loop's going to look like. We can say something like this. We're going to have to access this thing. Let's go check out, this over here. Let's go to home. Let's go over to courses. Let's go to pandas, and let's go to the indexing because I forgot. I don't remember this. So let's come down here to. I'm pretty sure it's the lock stuff. Okay, so we've got reviews.lock right here. We've got the index, and then we've got the country, right? So let's take this. All right. Let's come over here. when I say over here, I mean over here. All right. And let's say wines equal wine equals, and let's do the review.lock 0. But instead of the 0, what we want is the max ratio index, right? And the country is the name of the column. But the column we're trying to look for is the one with the names in it. And here's the names right over here under title. So let's take title. Let's plug it in right here. All right. And now we can print wine. Let's run it. And you can see it says Bandit Envy Merlot, California. Just like that. All right, great. So now that we've got that going on, we can just return wine. So let's get this print out of here. Let's get this print out. Let's get this whole if statement print out. And let's get this print out of here. And let's return. Whoops. Wine. All right. And let's run it. And it says correct. Awesome. That's what we're looking for. Let's see what they did. Where is it at? Q5 solution. Run it. Ha 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 ha. We didn't know there was an IDX max before doing this, did we? No, we didn't. No, we didn't. But it is what it is, and we can say something like this. Pandas. Let's do it over here, actually. Pandas library. Right there. Let's go over to this. Let's go over to documentation. Let's do search. IDX max. Enter. Let's look at this. We've got series.idxmax. That's what we just did. And look, just like on MDM, we can find these all that we want. And just like MDM, we don't know they're available until we actually see somebody else use them. You know what I mean? Of course you do. So here's this, and you can see there's a bunch of stuff. Here's kurtosis, whatever that is. Return unbiased kurtosis over requested access. Of course. Anyway, I don't know what that means. So let's get out of here. So that's where it is. And we could have done this. Let's copy this. Let's come up here. Let's give a triple quote over on this. Down one, triple quote. 1, 2, 3. Delete, delete, delete. Control end. Let's do a triple quote here. Let's do a paste. Let's do a control enter, and yes, in fact, this is the way. So we had fun, but this is the way. IDX max. So basically we're just saying we're having the ratio right here, and we're saying .idx max, and then we're doing the bargain wine reviews.lock thing that we did right here at the end of our function. And we're putting this in here, which max ratio index and bargain IDX is the same thing, and title is the same thing as well. Boom. Great. So we learned something. Fantastic. Let's go to the next one. Number 6. So there are only so many words we can use when describing a bottle of wine. Is a wine more likely to be tropical or fruity? Who knows? We're going to create a series descriptor counts, counting how many times each of these 2 words appear in the description column in the dataset. For simplicity, we're going to ignore the capitalized versions of these words. Okay, so these are going to be lowercase words right here. So with that, just like in the last one, let's make our own little other what's the thing called? Variables. All right. So let's have tropical equals something. All right. And so what we're going to do here is, all right, let's look at it again. So we're going to be in the description, right? Description. We're making description counts. That's this. And so we're going to have to do a reviews dot description, right? So let's come back over, not to here, to here. And let's go look at the map thing, right? So where are we? Where's map? We got a map right here. All right, great. So on this one, what we want to do is we want to map through the descriptions, right? So let's start with that. Let's say reviews.descriptions. All right. And we're going to map through it. .map. All right. So now we need a lambda, and we're going through descriptions. So D for descriptions, and lambda D, and we're going to check if there is the word tropical in the description. So we're going to say, we're going to use the in keyword. We're going to say tropical in, and then we'll say D. All right. And let's do a print tropical just to see what it looks like. Let's run it. No. It says no. What's the problem, bro? Ha, of course. It's not descriptions. It's description. I love programming. Don't forget to spell it right. All right, let's run it. Let's come down here. Okay, so this is, we got a series, and it's got falses and trues depending on if the word tropical is in it or not. So since that's the case, let's come over here and let's use another thing that we used before. Let's do the counts thing. Value counts. Where is it at? Value counts. Let's use this value counts right here. Let's come over here, dot value counts. All right. And that's not how you spell it. And let's run it. Okay, so now we've got falses and we got trues. So we want to access this true. So we're going to say, we're going to have the accessor brackets, and we're going to just say true like that. And now let's run it. And you can see we've got the number 3607. So that's great. So now let's go back with the Control Shift up. Let's do it. Maybe? No. Control Shift back? No. I hope it didn't do another. Let's highlight this and say Control Alt down. No, Control Alt Shift down. There we go. Alt Shift down. Turn tropical into fruity. Take fruity, change this tropical, and let's put comma fruity, and let's run it. So we got these two numbers right here. Good. So what we now need is to create a series descriptor count. So we're gonna have to do a pd.series. Remember, pd.series, and the series we're going to make is going to be the brackets, and we're going to put in there tropical first and then fruity. So tropical and then fruity. All right. And then we're going to also have to put in the index. Let's go look at that thing again. Home. Here we go. Courses, pandas. It was in this one, I think. Pretty sure. When we were doing the pd dot whatever. pd dot series. pd dot dataframe dot dataframe dot dataframe dot series. There it is. Ah, yes. And then the index equals. And so we'll do that too. Where are we? Right here. And so we'll say index equals, and then we'll say also tropical fruity. Index equals also these two. Actually, we should just, instead of that, let's just grab this, copy it, toss this here, and then throw some quotes around both these to make them strings, right? All right, so now let's run it. That's correct. There we go. So we're looking cool. We got another one down. Let's see what they did. All right. So instead of the value counts true, they just use sum, which makes sense actually. And so next time we will use sum instead of this value counts true. Even though that worked, this I think is better because it's shorter. All right. So other than that, it all looks pretty much the same. So that's good. Let's go on to number 7. So now we'd like to host these wine reviews on our website. But a rating system ranging from 80 to 100 points is too hard to understand. We'd like to translate them into simpler star ratings, okay? A score of 95 or higher counts as 3 stars. A score of at least 85 but less than 95 is 2 stars. And any other score is 1 star. Also, the Canadian Vintners Association bought a lot of ads on the site, so any wine from Canada should automatically get 3 stars, regardless of points. How honest. On a scale of 1 being not honest and 10 being honest, where on the scale does this practice go? I'll let you answer. Put your answer in the question in the comments. Put the answers to that question in the comments. Huh? Anyway, we're going to create a series star ratings with the number of stars corresponding to each review. Awesome. Okay, so first thing we got to do is we're going to have to make a conditional function, a function with conditional with a conditional statement in it to give it 3 stars for Canada and over 95, 2 for 85 to 95, and 1 for the rest. So for that, we'll say def to start off with stars. All right. We're going to put a row. We're going to put rows in there. So row to start with as the parameter. We'll say if to start with over here, and we'll start off with a 3-star condition. So if row dot country equals, and we'll say Canada, or row dot points is greater than or equal to 95. What we're going to do is return 3. All right. Now we're going to do an elif, and we'll say elif row dot points is greater than or equal to 85. All right. We're going to return 2. Else, we will return 1. There we go. So that should work. Let's come over here and let's just drop this off in here, honestly. Stars row. Okay, so we're not going to... All right, first off, we're creating a series with the number of stars corresponding to each review in the data set. Create a series. Is this a map or is this an apply? I could have sworn this was an apply. Anyway, so let's go over here and let's look at apply. Creating, reading, writing, pandas. Let's go to this. Let's go to this. And let's go down here and look at the apply method. I don't think we're just making a series. I think we're making a series inside of a thing. Anyway, so let's go look at apply, which is right here. Right? So we did this part first. We did the def part. And now we're going to do reviews.apply. So let's grab this. Let's drop this off here. And right here, let's put stars. And access equals columns should be good. So let's see if this is it. Let's run it. Correct. There we go. All right, great. Let's look at the solution, see what they did. And they did pretty much the same thing, except for they didn't combine these two. Not now. We'll go up next in a second. They didn't combine those two, but it is what it is. You do what you want, honestly. But yeah, it looks pretty much the same. So that's that. Let's go to the next one. Grouping and sorting. All right. So now we're on to grouping and sorting, and we'll see you next time.